Movie critic Donald Clark thinks that X-Men First Class is a typical summer blockbuster and just not groovy. Erik Lensherr, whose skill in manipulating metals will later attract the moniker Magneto, is touring the world in search of fugitive, still middle-aged Nazis. Middle-aged Nazis. Wait, still middle-aged Nazis? Did they not age at all? Neither did Dick Clark. I am not saying that Dick Clark is a Nazi. Dreamed up by Bryan Singer, who directed the first 2 films, or Stan Lee and Marvel and people like Chris Claremont, Bryan Singer didn't dream shit. Sometimes dallying in Rat Pack territory and elsewhere nodding towards James Bond, Kevin Bacon's villain operates from a funky submarine. Funky submarine. It's like when you got drunk and forgot that you bought a sub at Subway and you have to smell it to make sure it's still good, but it's, it's Subway. Even if you smell it, you can't tell. Why is this turkey made out of pork? Why is there 18 ingredients in white bread? Why are there 2 ingredients in tomato? The film builds upon our era's weird love affair with the early 1960s. Mad Men's January Jones, more wooden than a boardroom drinks cabinet, turns up to remind us of the craze's principal inspiration. Sure, she's wooden now, but if you make a wish, she'll become a real girl. Recruiting other young mutants to their cause, the improvised team sets out to stop evil Dr. Bacon. It's funny to name a doctor after the thing that doctors tell you not to eat. A former Nazi who refuses to age from reducing the planet to quiescent rubble. He refuses to age? I've been to Hollywood. There's nothing special about refusing to age. Xavier uses the word groovy, not properly in fashion for a year or 2 after the events detailed. You nick-picking son of a bitch. It's like, actually, they weren't saying groovy until like a year or 2 after that, so this movie about mutants is ridiculous. In one silly moment, a young X-Man actually describes another mutant's costume as badass. Uninteresting situations are dismissed with a wildly anachronistic whatever. You didn't point out when they started saying badass in history, so whatever. Still, the melange of slim suits, cigaretting villains, and Cold War paranoia is amusingly maintained throughout First Class's diverting opening act. How do you make cigarette a verb? Cigaretting? What are you doing tonight? I was thinking about going out and doing some alcoholing. Might do a little cigaretting. And maybe once I've had a couple drinks, fooding and homing and bedding. Aloning. The problem set in when the film becomes XMen Babies. I want to see XMen Babies so badly. Oh, that would be... Although, you can't have Mystique because she's pretty much naked, and naked babies is wrong. Unless you live on a commune or you're at Burning Man, which is basically a once-a-year commune for babies. I've never been. I don't know what I'm talking about. There are only so many times you can surprise us by revealing that this apparently ordinary chap or that seemingly commonplace chick has the ability to sprout wings, call up typhoons, or shoot laser beams from fingernails. I don't think the point is to surprise you. I think the point is to be like, ooh, look at them. I wonder what power that they have. And then you're like, oh, they can shoot laser beams from their fingernails? Groovy. In truth, the film is a very conventional summer potboiler repackaged in reasonably pretty, moderately crisp wrapping paper. In short, not quite groovy enough. Who the hell knows the crispiness of wrapping paper? I'm really disappointed by this wrapping paper. The last wrapping paper I got just had this crunch to it. And this is, I can't even hear it. It's just not crispy enough. Also, I just love that it's a conventional story based on characters that were created in like the 60s and 70s. It's so conventional 30 years later. So make sure you guys let us know in the comments some movies that you'd like to see us do and grab the critics of and make fun of them. Also, we've already done the first 3 X-Men in our Critique the Critic show, and you can check out 2 of them right there, and you're just gonna have to find the 3rd one. It's somewhere in there. There's a lot of these videos, but we know you can find it. Also, if it's your first time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and until we see you next time, geek out and game on.